March started off slow by way of watch news, but things are starting to heat up. Here's the biggest stuff that happened over the last month. Let's start off on a high note. Longines have made some massive updates to the HydroConquest line. They've essentially overhauled it with a new dial layout, a new movement, and even new bracelet options. Starting with what we can see, gone are the oversized 12/6/9, which have been replaced by circular plots, now having a combination of baton and circular indices. The unidirectional ceramic bezel has been reworked with a new click system and in 6 colors. I'll put them on the screen now. One of the coolest updates is the Milanese bracelet option, which I think looks really good. I really need to pop into the AD to see one of these in the metal. I really like the looks of the Milanese. And crucially has removable links towards the clasp, so you can adjust it to fit your wrist and you don't have to do the awkward underfold like you do with the Omega. I feel like I complain about that a lot. I just feel like Omega is such a massive, premium, expensive brand. They need a more elegant solution than what they have. But that is neither here nor there. The case itself has also changed, slightly more curved and compact feeling, slightly thinner, 0.5 millimeters thinner than the previous iterations, which sounds small, but when we are talking about things as small as watches, that's a noticeable difference. I would describe this as an aesthetic overhaul, much needed modernization. Very well done. The movement has followed suit as well with the newest generation of the L888, caliber L888.5. It is an in-group movement, as we expect from Swatch, using the ETA 2892 as the base, silicone balanced spring, lower frequency at 3.5 Hz, and a 72-hour power reserve. Pure opinion, just my 2 cents. I think this is the modernization that this collection needed. Almost feeling tighter, cleaner, and a fantastic price to boot. Retailing for $2,200 USD on H-Link bracelet and $2,400 USD on Milanese. This is a lot of value being crammed into a fantastic watch. Moving on, Omega launched an entirely new collection under the Constellation. So this is the Constellation Observatory, and it's been in keeping with some of the dressier offerings we've been seeing from the brand. These call back to the much-loved vintage pie pan dials, but constructed to modern standards and sizing. I wanted to keep my opinions to myself. I wanted it to have its whole own separate section, but I can feel already it's going to spill over. I do have some concerns. So starting with the proportions, they're large. 39.4 millimeter case diameter. That's good. A lot of men will really like that. 12.23 millimeters thickness is almost unforgivable in my opinion. That is way too thick for this style of watch, especially with zero complications. This is a time-only two-hander. I aesthetically really like it, lots of sharp angles, dog leg lugs, and I really enjoy the dial execution. Sunburst towards the center, then leading to an almost Art Deco feeling outer ring. But on the black variation, it strips this all away. It seems to be just a lacquer dial. I really like the design choices that were made. It's just the thickness and the price, which we'll look at later. Turning these over, we see the caliber 8914 and 8915, depending on variant, which is the two-hand version of the 8900 series movements. There are 3 different rotor finishes, depending on what model you buy, with the stainless steel models having the most plain. The 8915 on Moonshine Gold features the Luxe finish with gold rotor, and the Platinum. This is getting the Grand Luxe finish, very opulent, Sedna Gold, then a white gold and enamel Observatory medallion. Very decorated. It looks fantastic. On a more practical spec level, these are still Meta certified. Very good movements. Now, the pricing. Oh my gosh, buckle in. These start at $10,900 USD and go all the way up to $59,100. Speaking frankly, the pricing structure is on another planet. Planet Ocean. Not funny. Stay on mission. So as a longtime lover of the vintage pie pan dials, I was so excited when I saw these. I've thought for a while that this is a collection that's needed some love, and I really like seeing Omega continue on with their dressier offerings. I really like what they do in this category, but I genuinely could not believe the price when I saw it. It's too thick, it's too large, it's too expensive. And then when you think about what this kind of money can get you, for reference, the Patek Calatrava 6196P, so also in platinum, is cheaper than the OMEGA Constellation Observatory in platinum. What is happening? What is... Even for us mere mortals, I'm not about to spend $60,000 on a watch. There are a lot of dress watches I would recommend over this that cost significantly less. It feels as though Omega is pushing upmarket in a way that the brand cannot support, and it's getting hard to be an Omega enthusiast. I don't know. I feel like they're pushing their people away. At least that's how I feel. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Moving on, Nomos has just added 2 new color variants to the Club Campus family, and there's some quiet little tweaks happening here. I was lucky enough to have both colors in. I'll be filming that video tomorrow if everything goes according to plan, but there is an olive green and what they're calling full rose or a very light pink. Both colors have been added for both sizes, 36mm and 38.5mm, so it's not like the pink is only available in the smaller and olive in the larger. Either size, the new colors are there. Spec-wise, some things remain the same, so still 100 meters of water resistance, stainless steel material, but it feels like we're entering into a transitional time of the Club Campus. The movement is transitioning from the Alpha manual winding caliber to the DUW 4001, which is fairly similar, but with 10 hours longer in the power reserve. And there is a notable change in the lug department, going shorter. So we're going from 47.5mm lug to lug to 44.3mm on the smaller variation. I think this shows that Nomos is listening to the lug comments, and it's being taken into account as they update their cases. King Seiko announced they are expanding the VANAC line with some new titanium offerings. I am someone who weirdly likes the VANAC, but I did find this to be a surprising move. I wouldn't say it is the most mass market offering in their lineup, but hey, it must be working. In my head, I keep calling it the Toblerone because it is highly angular, very chunky case shape, inspired by Tokyo's cityscape. It is large and dramatic, heavy taper on the bracelet, cool dial, and powered by the 8L45, which has an accuracy of +10, -5 seconds per day, and a 72-hour power reserve. I mean, as a watch, it is objectively good, but the design won't be for everyone. It's pretty Marmite. If you're someone who likes this, you'll like it. It'll be even more exciting that it's now in titanium. If you don't like it, I do get it. It's not the easiest watch to be a fan of. Final bit of watch news that stood out to me of last month, Otsuka Lotec and the number 8. If you're not as familiar with Otsuka Lotec, they are a highly sought after Japanese indie that leans heavily into retro futuristic design, almost steampunk, and take inspiration from things like industrial gauges, vintage cameras, mechanical tools. Founded by self-taught watchmaker Jiro Katayama, these watches are powered by Miyota movements with in-house modules added upon. The designs are so unique, the prices are great, often under 3,000 Swiss francs, but the problem is getting one. High demand, limited supply, usually only sold in Japan with a raffle system. All that aside, look at this. This is the number 8. It is so cool. It is inspired by the red dot 37 tube mixing console once used at London's Abbey Road Studios, a studio of absolutely no cultural significance, of course. I'm not sure if you'd call this a regulator adjacent, regulator retrograde. So the minutes and hour is read on separate planes, with the hour hand being jump hour. This is distinctly Jiro. Very cool. It's not for everyone, and it's not meant to be. Anyways, guys, that is the watch news that stood out to me for the month of March. Did I miss any of your favorite watch news? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for your viewership. I genuinely appreciate it so much. I can't believe anyone watches these weird little videos. So thank you. And thank you as well to the Pope tier patrons. Get their names on the screen. Hello to the freaking Pope tier patrons. Hello to the newest patrons. Hello to the oldest patrons. I mean, by way of how long you've been in Gringa Patreon, not your age, of course. You're timeless and you're patinaing beautifully. In fact, they say Gringa patrons become 20% better looking immediately after joining our community. I'm not sure they don't say that. That doesn't happen. But you get to be a part of the best community ever. Thank you so much for supporting my weird little channel. I hope you keep enjoying the work we do here. And even if you don't, I hope you keep enjoying Watches Forever. They're awesome. You're awesome. And thank you so much.